Welcome to Still Here, Still Trying. Well, Mike Baker had a week. You probably did too. He opened his phone, saw someone yelling about free speech and Tylenol in the same sentence, and found out the rapture was apparently scheduled for Thursday. That's a lot. Glad we're still here. Mike's not here to fix the internet. He's not here to argue. He did play goalie in 6 games, though. Kelly had to investigate a mysterious red mark on his cheek, and, well, if you know, you know. She also nearly kicked him out of the house because of the hockey stink. And honestly, he's still standing. This is Still Here, Still Trying. And if you're listening, you probably are too. Here's your host, Mike Baker.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Still Here, Still Trying. This is episode 15. We are on a roll. Thank you for joining me. Yes, I am another day late. I'm so sorry. Hey, I hope you enjoy those intros. Those are just fun. For me, it's just fun. So I'm sorry if they're annoying and way too goofy, but hey, you got to have some fun with this. So anyway, thank you all for being here so much. I really appreciated the comments I got after the episode last week. I had several people reach out and share stories with me. So thank you for that. It really helps me know that this work is valuable, that people are listening. It's so much fun watching people share it on social media and talk about how it's impacting their lives. So thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, please take a second and hit that button on whatever streaming platform you're listening to right now. Hit that like, hit that share, leave a little comment, do something, create some action, and then tell a couple of people about this because we are gaining traction. We're getting lots of people listening, and it's just so much fun. So thank you for that. Thank you for the support. I am excited about this episode because you all know me as the optimist, right? And even optimists have days where it's just like, whoa, it's too much. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and just kind of get into it from that standpoint. Hang in there because you're going to see a different side of Mike that isn't always the bright, cheery, optimistic guy. But we're going to have some fun with it. So anyway, when I was working through just kind of thinking about how we were going to handle this week, my brain kind of went back to a time earlier this week where I opened my phone and I saw someone arguing about free speech. And then we talked about Tylenol. And then a few scrolls later, I found out that the rapture was apparently rescheduled. And I just had to close the app. It is so loud right now. Everybody's talking, not a lot of listening. And if you're tired of it, yeah, same here. So if your big win this week was just getting out of bed and not screaming into the void, you are not alone. I am going to say I don't have a fix this week, but I do have the truth. And maybe that's enough. I hope that that's enough because this episode is just all about the quiet victories. So let's get into it. I want to tell you a story about my recent trip back to Washington, D.C. I was there recently for work. One of the meetings we had it was just a small meeting. It was several of us all in the same space within healthcare. And we were talking to one of our colleagues back there who helps us out. We were talking about policy and funding, and it was just kind of the usual grind. But the conversation shifted just a little bit. And, again, this is someone I deeply respect. This is someone who's been in this work a long time, and she spoke up. She didn't make a speech. She didn't raise her voice. She just named it. She talked about the chaos in DC, the funding cuts, the whiplash, the way people like us are expected to keep holding the line while the ground just gives out underneath us. And then she said, we're being told to hold it all together while everything underneath us is falling apart. And that broke me, not because I hadn't felt it, but because someone else finally said it out loud. And after the meeting, I stepped out of the meeting and I was quiet. I was in my head. I walked around, actually just kind of roamed for a minute. No music, no calls. It was just silence. And it was for a couple hours. But the optimist in me, the one who finds the thread, the spark, the story, that guy did a backflip off a cliff and splattered that morning. I wasn't burned out. I wasn't broken. I was full. I was just too full. I was carrying way too much. And that meeting didn't necessarily destroy me, but it gave me permission to just stop pretending that I had anything left to give. And it was interesting. So anyway, I recovered like we all do. I took a little bit of space for myself. I recovered. I built my soul back. I got that smile back on my face. We had great meetings in DC, lots of fun with all of our colleagues back there. But when I got home, I still couldn't necessarily talk about what was happening. And then we had all the other stuff that's happened recently. And I think as you're finding out about me, when stuff gets stuck in my head, I have to figure out how to get it out. And so in this particular scenario, I created some art. I shared it on my social media this week, but I created a few pieces and they just kind of came out of me. And so the first one is just it's this person. They're wrapped in the flag. I mean, it's all kind of like you can tell this is a flag. The eyes are shut, but the mouth is sealed by noise. And the second one is Lady Liberty. She's wrapped in the very thing that's meant to protect her, but she can't speak. And the third, it's a face that's kind of buried beneath the stars and stripes, and there's tape and there's static, and it's just showing a person that's lost in the performance of freedom. I didn't necessarily plan them. I had the concepts in my head, but as I was working with the tools, they just kind of popped out. And again, I want to say I am not taking a side on any of this right now. I'm just telling you what it feels like to be silenced. But these images for me, it was trying to get something out of me that really just shows what it feels like to be silenced, to be stopped, to speak and be twisted, to post and be picked apart, to live in a moment where everything becomes a fight. And these pieces, they're not meant to be angry. I think they're just tired. They're still hoping and they're still here. And so am I. And so are you. And I think that's the reality. Like as we create this stuff, and as I share the pieces of art or the music, I'm trying to clear my head and get something out there and share it with the world. And it's been so incredible hearing the feedback on the pieces that I release and just hearing people's stories the way that they see the image. So the last couple weeks, we've been reading a portion out of the Optimist Way. And so this week, we're going to continue with that trend. I appreciate the feedback. There's so many of you that say you enjoy that. So thank you very much. This one, we're going to talk about sometimes just getting through the day is enough. So there will be days when your goal isn't to thrive or grow or break through. It's just to get through. And that's okay. There is no shame in survival. There is quiet strength in choosing to stay when your mind is tired, when your heart is stretched thin, and the world feels like too much. We don't talk enough about the courage it takes to do the small things when everything feels heavy. Making breakfast, answering a message, going to work, caring for others when you're barely holding yourself together. These are not failures, these are wins. And realistic optimism means recognizing that resilience doesn't always look like bold action. Sometimes it just looks like brushing your teeth and putting on real clothes. Sometimes it's saying no, because that's all you have the energy for. Sometimes it's letting the dishes sit in the sink and choosing to rest instead. Give yourself credit for the quiet victories, the invisible ones, the ones no one claps for, but still cost everything. Getting through the day may not feel glamorous, but it's sacred. It's strong. It's enough. And tomorrow, you'll begin again. I needed that. And maybe you do too. I've really enjoyed floating back to my book, especially during these heavy times. So I hope you do too. You can pick up a copy of my book on Amazon. The link's in the show notes. Check it out. It's been a powerful tool in my life, and I've heard from so many people that it has helped them. So go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions or want to talk about it, reach out. I've got some copies back there. I'm happy to share them. Just connect with me. Let's have a conversation. When I think about that piece again, I think for me, it really called out the importance of just taking a minute to find myself again. I was in DC. I was there for work. We had lots of meetings, but after that morning, I had to just take a second. And I think I've done this on every episode lately, but just talk about I've just had to breathe. I had to slow down. I had to find myself. Because that meeting in DC, it didn't take me out, but it did remind me where I belong. And I want to share this next part of the episode. I want to kind of go into what happens of like we have this wide lens, but sometimes we need to just shrink in. And so for me, when I start to shrink in, there are some things that are really, really powerful and really important. And I'm going to share a few of those. So for me, those things are my daughter Samantha texting me after a hard day, just saying, I love you. For me, watching Kelly show up for her people, that is quiet power. For me, Jacob making time for family even when he's spent. And Cameron, halfway across the world, still checking in on his sister. Like that kind of stuff, that is the sacred work. It's the people at Heritage Health, it's the people at my work getting a patient into care. It's a front desk staff remembering someone's name. It's someone holding space for someone else without needing credit. That kind of stuff, that is what saved me. So it brings me back. That's what grounds me. It's not necessarily the strategy. It's not necessarily the system, but it's home. And if it feels like too much out there in the world right now, that's okay. Because what I want to talk about is just shrinking the circle. So when I get lost, I'm thinking like I need to solve all the world's problems right now. Like there's so much chaos, there's so much out there. There's only so much that I can control. And so I've encouraged people like when we start feeling that way, let's just talk about shrinking the circle. Let's not solve every problem on the internet. Let's not fix America before lunch. Just come back to your life. Come back to your home, come back to your people, come back to your breath. Wave at your neighbor. Answer the text message. I'm not good at this one, but go to bed early. Get some rest. That is presence. That actually is leadership and it's survival. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is just create that space. I'm trying to choose that. I'm trying to choose that space where I am here for my community. I know that my little circle of influence, I have an incredible family and I can share some things with my family that might benefit them. And they share that with me. And then I think about it and I go to work every day and I interact with we have, almost 350 people that I work with every single day and I can share a little bit of my influence with them and they can share it back with me. And then I think about the people I interact with as I go to lunch and I go to the grocery store and I'm down at the ice rink. There's a circle of influence that I can interact with and I can share a little bit of my perspective and I can share a little bit of joy and they share it back with me. I think about the community in which I live here in North Idaho. We have incredible people. We have people with very diverse opinions. We have people on the right and people on the left and up and down and wherever we are. Like, we have a whole group of people here and we can spend so much time disagreeing with each other that we forget that every single person we interact with has a heart. There's somebody that cares. There's somebody that worries about their kid, their mom, their finances, their job, all of those things. And the best part about being in our country, being in America, is finding our neighbors, finding that space, and, honestly, forget about all of the madness that's out there right now. It's all out there. It's trying to divide us. We know that people are trying to get us to fight. So let's not do that. Let's actually recognize that when you sit down and you talk with somebody, there are so many things that we agree on. We all want to see a better world for our kids. We all want to afford our groceries and live in a house that's affordable and live in a great community, and we want world peace. I mean, there's like, I don't know anybody that doesn't want those kinds of things. How we get there becomes challenging, but we can't ever get to the end point if we can't ever find a starting point. And what I'm just trying to share in today's episode is, let's shrink up our circles. Obviously, there's lots of stuff we need to pay attention to out there in the world and on social media and on the news and all that jazz. And we need to be very vigilant, and we need to pay attention to that. Also, I can't fix those problems, but I can, and you can right now. The next person that you see, you can walk up to them and you can just give them a big fat smile and say, "Hello, how are you today?" You can even be more bold. "I'm Mike. I work here. This is what I do. I have 3 kids. Where are you at?" Like, start a conversation. Connect with people around you. It is so much easier to follow with love and connect with people's hearts than it is to live in a space where every person around you has become the enemy now. They don't wear the same color shirt that I wear. They believe this. They voted for this person. They drive that car, yada, 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 whatever it is. Like, it makes zero sense to live our lives in that space. It is absolutely what will destroy our community. It's what keeps us from making progress. And so, please, and I'm begging you, lower the temperature and just, again, take a deep breath and remember that every single person that you see today, every single person you see tomorrow, there's a real human inside there. And 90% of the things that they want, you want. And so we could find that common ground. We can build relationships and imagine the power, the magic of the world when that happens, when we take that time to just connect with people and not be bitter and not hate everybody. I see it in the hockey locker rooms. I see it just in the community in passing. There's these little snide comments that everybody makes. I'm guilty of it. I am not perfect. I'm trying. Remember, I'm still here. I'm still trying. I'm trying my very best. But we need to find that space to come together. And so I pray that our community can find the space, that anyone that's listening to this, anyone that you share it with, just, you can take the challenge. The challenge of this week is to wave at a stranger, smile at a stranger, do something kind, pay for that coffee, do something that's out there. And one of the reasons for this particular effort this last week would have been my mother's birthday. And my mom is an angel. She was absolutely the most incredible person. She had the biggest heart. All she cared about throughout her entire life was just caring for other people. And I miss my mom. I miss my mom so badly. Her life was taken earlier because of Alzheimer's, and she is missing out on seeing all of these other things that are happening in our lives. And I hope that she would be so proud of all of us. I think she would be. But every year on her birthday, our family tries to do something just to mirror the energy that my mom put out into the universe. And so people go to coffee stands and they buy a gift card. They do acts of service. They do everything they can just to try to make the world just a little bit better, because our hearts ache because our mom is not here with us. But we also know that the only way to break that ache is to get out there and share something with the world. So as I'm sharing all of this, my plea to all of you this week is to go do something kind, smile at a stranger, make a difference in somebody's life. Try to look at somebody that you think, well, they voted for this person, so I can't talk to them. Go talk to that person and smile at them, shake their hand, and say, "It is so nice to meet you." And I bet you'll have an amazing conversation. Lower the guard and just listen, because that's how we get back to community. That's how we strengthen our community. That is truly how we make America great again, is we get back to that space where we love each other, we lead with clarity, and we build and we support each other all around us. So I hope that this is okay today. This is where my head has been. I see so much fear and I see so much division out there, and I know maybe some of you don't see it and you're living in a different space, and that's great. Please forgive me if what I have shared with you may have upset you. I'm really not trying to be super political in this space. I see leadership. I see opportunities for all of us to do better, myself included. So I hope that this is okay. Thank you. I really appreciate you letting me share this with you. I hope it adds value for you. I want to say, again, you don't need to be loud to matter. You don't need to win to be worthy. You're allowed to be tired and you're allowed to rest. So for this week, I'm still here and I'm still trying. And I am so glad that you are too. I'll see you next time. All right, to send us out this week, I'm going to share a new song that I just released. This song is called Another Trip Around the Sun. I wrote it as a kind of whispered reminder that even when the days feel small or strange or heavy, they still count. Every laugh line, every scar, every moment we don't quit, they add up. We're not promised anything, but if the day shows up, maybe we do too. I hope you enjoy this song.
Morning light drifts across the floor. Street wakes slow just outside the door. Yesterday's noise falls to a hum. I breathe and let the new day come. Not every day will meet me here, so while it does, I'll keep it near. Write it down before it runs, face turned toward the rising sun. Another trip around the sun, stack small miracles one by one. If the day shows up, we do too. Turning time into something true. Scars and maps on the same old skin, lessons folded from where I've been, laugh lines drawn like threads of gold, proof a story learns to hold. If a promise breaks, we mend it slow. Grace grows wild where the onyx grows. Open hands, unafraid to give. Measure the wealth by how we live. Another trip around the sun, stack small miracles one by one. If the trip around the sun. Name your blessings one by one. If the day shows up, we do too. Turn this moment into something true. Take what's real and pass it on. Light the path we're walking on. Here and now, the work is done. Another trip around the sun.